Hi, I'm Andrew Hamilton. I'm Associate Vice Provost for Student Success and Dean of Undergraduate Studies here at UNCG. I just want to take a few minutes to update you on our fall academic planning. We're really excited to be able to welcome students back to campus in August, but we've had to make some changes in order to do that safely, and I want to tell you about a couple of those. First, you've probably seen the announcement that we've made some adjustments to the calendar. What we really did was condense it. So we'll have the same number of instructional days and we'll start on the same day, August 18th. But we will end the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, that's November 24th. And then we'll have virtual finals beginning on November 30th. The second set of changes are more complex, and we're not even really quite ready to tell the whole story, but I wanted to give you more rather than less information so that you can begin to plan. So here's what's happening. When you're on campus and in public spaces, our expectations are exactly the expectations that you've been hearing from public health officials at the state and county and federal levels. We want you to have clean hands, we want you to be wearing face coverings, and we want you to be socially distant. So that will be true even in classrooms. So when you will have in-person classes, and when you're in those classes, you will be socially distant from your peers and instructors. So we will keep a 5 to 6 foot space between everybody in those rooms. In order to do that, we have to stagger our capacity a little bit. What we've done essentially is, imagine you're in a class with 25 people or 30 people, that class will meet in a room that normally would have seated 50 or 60 or more. So we quickly ran out of space. So what we are doing is staggering class attendance. So what does that mean? Well, it can mean a couple of things. So it might mean that if you're in a, say, Tuesday, Thursday course, that the whole class meets on Tuesday in person and on campus, but on Thursday the course meets synchronously but online. It might also mean that the course meets asynchronously but online. Another example of that kind of model is that the instructor might decide to cut the class in halves or thirds depending on the frequency of the meeting. So again, say on a Tuesday, Thursday schedule, the instructor might have half the class meet on Tuesday, the other half meet on Thursday, and then on off days, either the class that's not, the portion of the class that's not in person is meeting synchronously online, or perhaps is doing other kinds of assignments. Okay, so you're going to have students a level of flexibility that you probably were not planning on, which is why I wanted to tell you about it. Okay, so how will you know when you're supposed to be in class and when you're supposed to be online? The answer is we're putting that information right now in Genie. So your class schedule will reflect the new sort of atypical meeting patterns for those classes that are in person but staggered or atypical or hybridized. And you will be able to plan that your enrollment and what you're enrolled in based on that information. We're doing that quickly. It's a lot. It's a big lift, and our system is not really engineered for this kind of thing. So, but there's a team working on it, and we're pushing it out as quickly as we can. So right now you're thinking probably, okay, so I'm in a Tuesday, Thursday course, but I'm on Tuesday. Can I be on Thursday because of work or commuting or whatever? And the answer is yes, probably. So it depends on how many people are in the other subsection of your course. Again, as I said, this is complicated, but you will be able to see it and you'll be able to change it for most courses. So one more thing I want to say about this is that for most courses, the schedule will not change. So the schedule that you built for yourself in the spring or in the summer when you enrolled in classes, for most courses and most students, that won't change. Okay, the last thing I want to say about this is we've been getting a lot of questions from students who can't be on campus in person, though they are registered for in-person courses, because the students they have respiratory illnesses or they're immunosuppressed or other kinds of underlying health conditions that give them special pause when they're thinking about exposure to COVID-19. This is another one of those areas in which we haven't quite worked out all the details, but we are aware of it, we know it's a challenge, and we are pretty close to announcing how we're going to make that work. We are committed to making sure that all of our students have access to their instructors and their course materials and their peers in the best possible way. Okay, so last thing is an important thing. We know that a lot of you are struggling not just with the effects of the pandemic, but with the ongoing and systemic social inequalities that have been laid bare by the deaths of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and that your heads are maybe not really in academics right now. We're working hard to build an environment here and add some new support so that students can be academically engaged and still maintain their civic engagement. It's really important to us, and we're going to do everything we can to make it possible for you all to succeed academically at the G in fall 2020. Thanks very much for listening. If you have questions, my email address, ugdean@uncg.edu. We answer those emails almost by the minute, so please feel free to ask if you have questions. Thanks very much, and I hope you're safe and well, and that your families are safe and well.